Have you ever had one of those days where you feel like you've been running on a treadmill? You're busy, you're exhausted, but when you look back, you realize you haven't actually gone anywhere? Well, we're going to fix that. Today, we're breaking down exactly how to turn those scattered, frustrating days into powerful, productive ones. It all comes down to mastering the art of focus.
Just let that sink in for a second. This really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The problem isn't a lack of time. We all get the same 24 hours. The real issue is where we're pointing our attention. Getting this one idea can honestly change everything.
I love this analogy. Think of your daily focus and energy as a pot full of water. Now, if you have one or two small holes, you might lose a little, but you can still get where you're going. But every notification, every pointless distraction, every time you get sidetracked, you're basically punching another hole in the pot. And before you know it, you're completely empty before you've even started on the work that truly matters. Okay, so that brings us to our very first principle, and it's a big one. Whatever you consistently pay attention to is the direction your life will inevitably take. Simple as that. Think of your focus like the rudder on a ship. It might seem small, but it determines your entire destination. You know exactly what this feels like, right? When your day gets hijacked by an endless scroll of random videos and you find yourself comparing your life to everyone else's highlight reel, what's the result? You end the day feeling totally drained and you haven't moved a single inch closer to your own goals. You've been busy for sure, but you haven't been productive. And that feeling of being drained leads us perfectly into our second principle. See, we're all obsessed with time management, calendars, to-do lists, the whole shebang. But we totally forget that our energy is also a finite resource. When you wake up, you've got a full tank. The real question is, what are you burning that fuel on? And these energy drains, they're everywhere, aren't they? That mindless scrolling, the phone calls that go nowhere, those meetings that could have been an email, conversations that just suck the life out of you. Every single one of these taps into your daily battery, wasting not just your time, but that precious, limited energy. So here's the kicker. When it's finally time to do the important stuff, the deep work, the project that actually moves the needle, your energy tank is already running on fumes. And that is the true source of procrastination. It's often not about laziness. It's about not having the fuel left in the tank to even get started. So, how do we protect that precious energy? Well, it all comes down to our third principle. You have to get really, really good at separating the signal from the noise. Life is constantly throwing stuff at you, but most of it is just noise. The real skill is finding the few things that actually matter. Let's break it down. On one side, you have noise. Constant notifications, gossip, unimportant requests from other people. Then you have the signal, the handful of activities that lead to real progress. Things like deep work or meaningful learning. Your success, your progress, it all hinges on the one thing, your ability to ignore the noise so you can focus on the signal. This is such a powerful way to think about it. We think focus is about what we do, but it's actually about what we're willing to not do. It's about having the discipline to say no over and over again, to distractions, to other people's agendas, sometimes even to our own good ideas, so that we can give a huge, powerful yes to the one thing that matters right now. All right, let's talk about one of the biggest lies in productivity. So many of us wear multitasking like it's some kind of badge of honor. But here's the hard truth. Your brain is a single-task machine. It's just not wired to do more than one thing at a time effectively. Be honest with yourself for a second. When was the last time you were juggling 3 things at once and felt like you were doing a great job at all of them? Or did you just feel kind of frantic and scattered? Yeah, the answer is pretty obvious. It's a complete and total illusion. You see, you're not actually doing multiple things at once. You're just switching between them really, really fast. And every single time your brain switches gears, it pays a tax. It's called a switching cost. It burns up mental energy, the quality of your work absolutely plummets, and in the end, you're not saving time. You're just doing 2 tasks poorly instead of 1 task well. So, knowing our brains are built for single tasking, we get to our final and maybe most practical principle. If you want deep focus, you have to engineer an environment for it. You can't just hope for focus to appear. You have to proactively get rid of the things that prevent it. Let's be real, none of us are superheroes with magical concentration powers. Trying to focus in the middle of a storm of distractions and notifications doesn't build character, it just builds irritation. Your brain simply can't do its best work when it's constantly being pulled in different directions. So, how do we do it?
It's actually a pretty simple 3-step process. First, create your quiet space. That means cleaning up your desk and closing down those 25 browser tabs. Second, you gotta silence the alerts. Be ruthless here. If a notification isn't absolutely critical, turn it off. And third, commit. Pick one thing and stick with it until it's done. No bouncing around.
And there you have it. That's your new toolkit for deep focus. Let's run through them one last time. Your life follows your attention. Guard your energy, not just your time. Learn to separate the signal from the noise. Remember that multitasking is a total myth. And finally, proactively eliminate distractions from your environment. At the end of the day, all this theory doesn't matter without action. You have a finite amount of attention and energy for the rest of today. So I'll leave you with this one simple question to carry with you. Where are you going to put your focus?